Welcome to Listen.
Teacher Chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
And it's been a week. My goodness.
Yeah. It has been a week of weeks, let me tell you.
I told somebody when I came in today, I said, I'm just tired. I ran all week. Yeah. I have had, it's a busy week at school. It's been busy every night. And I said, I'm just tired. I'm tired. That's all there is to it.
I just forget about this April business and what it's like.
Yes.
And maybe it's because May follows and it feels good. Yes. And then you're going to school. So, I have definitely felt tired and my family's busy and all the things, but everybody's doing well overall. I'm like, I try to switch it and go positive because
it hasn't been a bad week. Like everything I've done has been fun and kind of exciting and
just tired.
I'm just tired. Yeah. That's it. Like it's not a bad tired. I'm just tired. And I'm sleeping good. Like and I'm getting to bed early. So like I'm just tired. That's what happens when you get a little bit older. You're not quite there, but just wait.
I was like, don't, Robin.
Just wait when you get a little bit older that
it just happens.
You need more sleep.
I've always been somebody that needs sleep.
Me too. Like me too. And if
you get me under 8, then it's not good. You
know what? My husband's a horrible sleeper. And so he can literally make it on like 3 to 4 hours. And I told him,
my gosh.
I would not, if I had 3 or 4 hours, I literally would not be functioning.
I could make it the first day, but then.
I know, but after that, then it would take me 2 weeks to make up for that day.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, Dave. Gosh. Well, you want to start?
Oh, why change a good thing?
Yeah, because I think it's funny. Are you sure? Yeah? You want me to go?
No, listen. Let's. Okay.
You know what? I'm so tired. I just want you to go first.
You know what? I just wanted to just do exciting changing up things.
Yes,
so here we go.
Of course.
Well, my high. We had the Oscars last week where we picked the Teacher of the Year. And it's really fun because this year we did it kind of different. We did it instead of, we've always had kind of like a banquet or everybody come in the morning and we
dress up nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, this year they had everybody in their classroom and we did a Google Meet and they did morning announcements and we walked around the school to each pod and that's how we announced the winner. So the teachers were in with kids and so it was very exciting because these, in the past.
I was like, so people were like, are they coming to my room?
You don't know. And they see us.
It's kind of sad though.
Well, I'll tell you.
I hope it's me.
No, I have to tell you something that doesn't sound nice, but it is kind of funny on that. So I'll give it. So it's very exciting. So I got to participate today. So the group of us that didn't have kids, we got to walk around with the principals.
And that is fun.
So
the kids would be
on
happy.
The way. Yeah, and I said it's because I have been lucky that I won one year. Yeah. And the thing is, when you're in, the reason I would love it this way, when you're in with all the teachers and you work with amazing teachers.
Yeah.
You're so thankful. You're humbled that you won, but it's kind of awkward too because you're like, all right, there's like 30 teachers that deserve it just as much as I do.
Or 95%. No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'll have to tell you that joke later.
Okay. I was like, well, that's kind of high, but no, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, 100% everywhere.
But I was like, so I said this way, it's a little bit easier because people aren't staring at you thinking, wow, I think I could have won that a little better than that one.
Awkward.
So I thought that was fun. But anyway.
And the kids.
And they were so excited. And we were saying like our para, like our special ed teacher said she went to the 4th grade and the para's in there a lot. And they're like, tell Miss Bev, we're so happy for her. So like they got to really be a part of it. So it was awesome. But the best part was, my dream is to be a mascot.
Yes.
Like I love it.
Yes.
Well, my friend Nicole texted me the night before and said, this is the time you pull out the tiger mask.
Yeah.
And I said, yes. So I wore it the whole time.
Oh, you were the tiger.
I got to dance. And I even made it on Instagram. And I told my family I was so proud. Loves me with masks. So I was so happy. Like they're like, I was going like, I was just
every time the tiger could be you.
Could be me. Because it's almost the same tiger mask. So it was very exciting.
Nice.
Now, the funny thing is, Nicole, I said, I hope I can find it because I hadn't used it in a while. And Nicole said, well, you could do the crybaby mask. And I said, well, I could go into the people that lost and be like, you sorry.
Yeah. But you walk to somebody's room and be like, just kidding.
Like, well, you know what?
We're headed to the winner's room.
So luckily, I did not do that because that seemed a little wrong, but it was pretty funny. So anyway, that was my high. It was so fun. It was so exciting. It was just, I told my principals, I was like, my grandpa loved the publishing clearinghouse. He always thought maybe he would win, and he would watch it, and you always hope they came to the door. And I felt like I was those people bringing the check, like, you're the winner, and here's the flowers. And it was
you
super
guys
fun.
do the Oscars right and presenting. Like,
it was
I think
fun.
It was fun whenever I was here, and I think you do it right.
Yeah.
So
it was a good time. So anyway.
Hats off to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now the low.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I'm tired, okay? And I have a lot going on outside of school. And, I like to live in La La Land and not reality sometimes. Now, luckily, my principal was very nice. He said, Robert, I think it's just you're very optimistic. So you don't like to look at the bad or that thing. So I was like, I appreciate that way of looking. But when things hit me, it's very hard on me. That's the hard thing about it.
Yeah, I understand.
So, I was heading to school today, and I was thinking, Nicole, who she's academic, and I'm the behavior person, and we taught first grade together.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun together. Like, we have a silly personality. We love to spend money. We like to order out. Like,
we love to spend money.
She could be like, hey, I found this new perfume. I was like, order that sucker for me. Like, we have a sense of humor. Like, when it was the eclipse, like, we're like, it's like the dogs howling, and we would howl. No one else thought it was funny, but we would giggle. Like, we have that kind of fun sense of humor. And so there'll be no one like her with me, and I cried all the way to school today.
Oh,
I cried.
Did you tell her?
I did, and I cried with her again. And she's not a hugger, and she even said, come hug me. And so I got to hug her really quick.
Yeah, that's where you're not the like. That is where you're not alike.
But, I think it's just hard because in the past, you have people that retire that you like and you're friends with. But when I'm getting to the age now that I'm working with people that have been lifelong friends and that you have done life with, and it's just a little bit harder. And so
you're making me sad.
Oh, like I could cry right now. Like I'm about to pull it together. But we do. I think people don't realize teachers, we don't just go to, like Dave, he goes to work, he goes home, he likes his people. But like, these are people you do life with. Right. And a part of you, it's kind of a grieving thing. And I'm sad today.
You're making me sad. And like, just thinking about it, because now I'm like, oh yeah. And so I've been trying to make sure that I can retire at the same time as the people.
Yeah, me too. See, and the good news is, like, in my next stage of people that retire, we all retire together. So this is really, I don't think there's very many from here till I retire that would be.
I'm going to talk people into sticking around until I'm done.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm like, no, you need the bigger bonus.
Listen, it costs money to live.
Yeah, you can't leave. And then when I'm ready to retire, I'm like,
okay, let's go.
It's time.
You don't need that money.
Yeah, get out of here. Let's go buy that perfume.
Yeah. That's right. So
anyway. My goodness. Well, okay. I will go with my positive of the week. Was I got to go to the library all day. And like
today?
Well, one day. This week, and it was wonderful.
Oh, is it so exciting?
Yes, and it was just nice. I appreciate my principal like allowing me to be in there all day, and for Donna and Adrene, Adrene will be there with me next year. Okay, library assistant. What's and then Adrene.
Oh, like a dream, but a D.
Oh, I've never thought about it. You're like a dream.
Yeah,
Adrene.
Uh-huh. I like it.
Yes, but she's wonderful, and so but them just kind of being comfortable enough with talking to me about different things and making me feel welcome, but also making me not feel like an idiot.
Yes.
There's certain things, and I just loved it. And the thing that I really loved, which is why I'm so excited about, one of the reasons I'm so excited about the job, is like I got to see a ton of kids
all
day
best?
Long. It was their scheduled day.
Yes.
And they would come in, and their reactions. Not everybody knows I have a new job next year.
Yeah.
They would walk in and they'd go, "What are you doing in here, Mrs. Weedle?" I'd be like, "Well, next year I'm going to be here all the time." They're like, What? And I'd be like, "Well, I'm going to be your librarian." And I had kids who were like, "Ah!" and just screaming so excited. And I was like, "Yeah, so every other week at least." And I loved that. And actually, I loved monitoring in the hall. I don't know that it's really in the job description.
Oh no.
But whenever
it's in our job description.
Well, when the bell rings, I'm like, I'm going out to the hall because one, I can harass children out there, but I'm like, come on, let's get moving, And I got to see my former students and they saw me. Best. Mrs. Weedle, what are you doing? And one of my kids from last year, he'd already walked by and seen me, but then his classes had started. We didn't have anybody in the library, and I'm still kind of out there. And he walks up, because I was talking to one of the other staff members, and he walks up, and I'm like, what are you doing? You have a bathroom pass. He goes, well, that's what I told my teacher I was going to go do. And I'm like, then why aren't you in the bathroom? He's like, I thought I'd come talk to you for a while. And I was like, I said, okay, hugs, thank you, but no, you can't do that.
You know what? He sacrificed his bathroom to
Oh
see
my
you.
gosh.
So you know what? That's a great little compliment right there.
That is a 6th grader for you right there. So
that's exciting.
It was nice. So, and I guess my negative, I probably could have a few different ones from this week. I will be honest. I mean, you can just name it, and it probably has happened this week, and that's okay. I'm good. But I think the one I'm going to focus on is the fact that I hurt my back, and I'm better now.
Oh.
I'm good now. But I hurt it like beginning of the week, and there was no way, like I didn't do anything. I honestly just was walking, and I think I maybe turned. I don't even know if I turned. All of a sudden, I was like,
oh no!
And I thought, you are old.
Listen.
You are old.
And I hate to tell you, but it's just gets worse.
Well, luckily, I did a little popping action. Actually, Race did a little popping action. I told him he did a great job. I feel like he should be a chiropractor.
Well, listen.
Anybody that's listening, I don't condone this really, but I would love for him to be a chiropractor one day.
I don't blame you. I would too.
Yeah, and anyways,
they kind of make their own hours. That seems like a pretty good job, actually.
Yeah, I think he felt very successful.
Yeah.
It's really bad that I'm saying that, but it worked.
Yeah. Hey.
And I felt so much better eventually.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's the worst.
So
though.
I'm old. That's the reality check this week.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
Okay.
Because I understand.
So.
All right.
Well, this week we're going to talk about those special days that happen during the year and like the kids' version and what they think and how they feel on those days versus the teacher version and how we feel on those days.
I like it. And maybe we probably should do like 2 teachers versions.
Yeah, and probably 2 kid versions.
I know. Mm-hmm. But we'll just do the 2 main ones, okay?
We'll see where it goes. You never know.
No, never know. All right. So let's start with field trips because there was a field trip this week.
Yeah.
You have a field trip coming up.
Yeah, which Robin wants to go on, I hear. I had 2 people come to me begging to go on our field trip. Yes. So maybe next time. The zoo is great. And I think I could use a behavior interventionist and a counselor, actually. So anybody available?
Big meetings, and when field trips land on big meetings, all of a sudden I'm a big help to everybody else in the building. And other buildings.
I will sacrifice and come hang out with 5th graders.
All right.
You do wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
So field trips. So kids.
Oh my goodness. Number 1. You get to bring your lunch, and you get a special lunch usually.
And listen, why is a brown paper bag so wonderful? Yeah. Like, it's like so special.
Oh, my boys, that's like, they're the most excited.
But let's jump back to something else.
Yes.
Why is there always parents that bring a lunchbox when we say brown paper bag? There's people that always, now I think anymore that it's okay that they bring their lunchbox.
Yeah.
But years ago, we would say brown paper bag. You'd always have a handful be like, I brought a
Yeah.
There's a reason we can't because we have to stuff them all. There's only a little bit of room. We're not saying brown paper bag because we think it's cute or we like it. There's a reason. We're not just trying to be awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway,
elementary world's a little bit different.
Okay, so yes, bring it up.
Okay, so get off your soapbox for that. Yeah.
Soapbox, yes. They bring their lunch. No work all day.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. You get to go to this place that you've maybe never been to before.
Ride a school bus. Some people never get to ride the school bus.
A school bus with your friends and all of your class. You might get to sing on the school bus.
Gosh.
Oh
I'm almost getting excited about it.
Oh my goodness, it's so wonderful, right?
Yes. Teachers.
Well, I would say might depend on the field trip.
Yeah.
I like that the kids get to experience. Some of our kids don't get to experience things.
No.
And so I love that part of it. But number 1, the work going into putting it together
and finding the right field trip. Also, because I think some people, some grade levels have the same field trip they do all the time.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because they contact the same people. But even even if it's the same all the time, it's the contact. It's picking the date, getting the buses,
sure it works for everybody,
collecting money.
Yeah.
Doing receipts.
Yeah.
pairing up who gets to sit together, like
Yes.
on the things. If you invite parents, if you don't invite parents.
Yep. What parent volunteers go? Yes. How do you decide that stuff?
And this is before even the field trip. This is pre-field trip.
So then the day gets here, and you also have to think about weather.
Yes.
And if the kids weren't prepared for the weather or something happens.
Yes.
I had one year, we were going to Wilson's Creek, which, by the way, if you teach 5th grade, it is a great field trip. Yeah. But we've done it. I've done that 15 times. And I still like it.
Yeah, no,
so that tells you something. But we are about to go, and we have tornado sirens going off and warnings, all this stuff. No. So we are in duck and cover mode in the building. We hadn't left yet, but then it delayed our field trip, and we ended up going, and we were all fine, obviously. But that was a great start.
Yes.
Okay, so then you get on the field trip with the kids, and it seems like sometimes I've had kids, their lunch is gone.
Yes.
Somehow that didn't happen, although we checked and all the things. Oh, yes. And 5th graders keep a hold of your lunch.
Yeah.
So that's happened. I have had situation behaviors.
Yes.
They all of a sudden think that rules no longer apply.
And they're embarrassing in public for you that you're representing Ozark.
And you are representing.
And you have a t-shirt that says Ozark. Everybody's wearing Ozark things, and you're representing.
So you're worried about being embarrassed, or if they say something like, "I just want you guys to show them we're good."
Yeah,
that's a stressful one.
Yeah. And
parents, I was gonna say, also.
And then sometimes when you bring parents, kids are horrible for their parents. Sometimes. Yeah. Now sometimes they're better.
Yeah.
But there's some I'm like, and so it's hard because it's that fine line where you have to say, "Hey, stop running around," but it's awkward because their parents standing right there
and letting them.
So that's awkward too, and that makes it hard.
And it's exhausting because all day you are
on
point. Like they're out of their routine. Yes. You're in a new spot that you're not fully, obviously, ever going to be comfortable with because it's not your classroom. And so you're having to make sure all the things are going. And if you have to rotate to different stations or areas.
And you stay on schedule.
You have to get back by a certain time.
Almost always you miss your specials. Yeah. So you don't have a break that whole day.
The whole day.
So when you get back, you're still on point because you have no break.
Yes.
And it's exhausting. And I also found that another hard thing, especially in my position now and for special ed teachers, you're responsible for medicine for kids. And you're because we were just talking about that the other day, where even though you know the right time, you hand off everything, but you're watching the clock, is it time now? You're I checked 100 times, is it in my pocket?
And you got EpiPens in case something emergency happens. I'm I know how to stop your leg, and I push the button.
It's so stressful. It is just so, and you want to make you count 100 million times, so you make sure you have your 22 kids, even though you counted. You're
you have your partner? Is your partner near you?
20, okay, I think 22, but I'm going to count again because you're what if I left a kid? And
this is stressing me out just thinking about it.
We should talk after your field trip. But it is. And listen, I actually really love field trips.
I don't mind them.
These are worries. I think about people that don't enjoy them because I really do. And these are still big things about it.
I overall enjoy them. I think for me, the biggest one is probably not being certain. It depends on my group of kids. If they're going to behave and some of those things.
I think behavior and just that everyone's safe till you get back. That you keep everybody safe. I think that's a lot.
You're representing your school. Yes. So I don't want to embarrass, and I don't want any of my students to be embarrassing our district.
So. I love it. Okay. You pick the next one.
Okay. I'm going to go with Grandparents' Day.
Oh, I actually,
okay, because I know that's coming up for you guys. Kid feelings are... One, usually there's a book fair going on at the time. So my personal kid's are my grandparents coming? We have a book fair at the same time. Yes. And so he's already scheming.
Oh, yes.
For
Smart
that.
Boy.
And I think they are just excited to show their grandparents their teacher and their work that they've done. And so it's just this super special.
The only thing I find sad is not every grandparent can come.
Yes.
And so not everybody has grandparents that live around here or things like that. And it's always sad for
yes.
And my friend Nikki has a great idea. She always had her parents come in or someone to volunteer to be for grandparents for other people.
Yes.
Which I think is such a great idea. So if it's something you don't do, it's something to really consider because it is hard when you have grandparents. Luckily my family has, and yours, we've always had grandparents around us. So we've always had plenty of people to do that. But that's the only thing that's hard about Grandparents' Day is it is, and I will tell you, especially here where I work, other grandparents take other kids, and as a part of, like, they're so good at saying, hey, come read to me, and really include them.
Yeah.
And so loving and so kind. So, like, we're very fortunate here.
Yeah.
But that is the only thing for kids. But I think other than that, like, if your grandparents come, it is the best day in the world.
Right. And I think that's a good thing to bring up, too, because I hadn't thought about that. I always think about it when it's happening.
Yeah.
Or as it's coming when I had those. But we don't have grandparents' day at the middle school anymore. But, no, I agree. Because I think that is kind of that, like, sadness that somebody's not there with them. And we forget about those things. But for teachers, I think it depends on the teacher.
Yeah, because let me tell you, I'm all into grandparents' day.
So
I love it.
I think my first grandparents' day was when I was at the elementary. And I just remember the sea of I can still envision it. I'm coming out. We have a longer hallway, and I look down the hallway because there's different times for different grade levels, and the sea of white hair walking towards me. I was just like, ah! I was so excited.
It is.
Because grandparents just, like, they aren't really, like, they're oblivious to the behaviors, all that stuff.
They don't care. They're just happy to be there.
They are happy to be there.
Yeah.
They're happy to see you, this teacher. They're happy to see their grandkid at school, and they're just beaming the whole time.
Honestly, it's absolutely. It's one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite times of the year, honestly, because you can literally do anything.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, too. I'm going to give another 2 cents today.
Oh, you're just
I'm full of wisdom.
Yes.
It's full of wisdom. Listen, you don't have to plan a lot, but plan a little song or a poem.
Yeah.
Do a little something special. Like, don't come in and just show around the room. You don't have to do much. You can do as simple as can be a little play, a little poem, a little something, but have a little presentation for them. That's important. So do that. But I'll tell you, grandparents don't care.
They don't care.
They're so happy. They're so appreciative of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best days of the year.
We would do cahoots.
Uh-huh.
And it would be like random questions, like one from this day and age, because we're in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And then we would do like ones that the grandparents would know, one of the kids, and they were kind of teamed up, so they were partners with their grandparent on these different things. And they just giggled and had so much fun with it.
I mean, it really is the best.
It is.
I have no negativity about that.
No negativity. No.
Okay, let's talk about the last one.
Yes.
Fundraisers.
Fundraiser. What the kids think? Fun. Fundraisers are fun. They think, look at this little bracelet that I can get, and all I have to do is X.
Yes.
Or, wow, I've always wanted a Frisbee.
Yes.
Like,
that was probably from the Dollar Tree.
Right.
But you had to sell $500,000 to get it. Now listen, I will tell you.
Kids are excited. They get the prizes. You have jealousy from the friend that is like, wow, I want that thing. And I mean, this is the deal with fundraisers.
And let me tell you, as a parent, I hate fundraisers. And I feel sad for my children because we are teachers, and unfortunately, majority of our friends are teachers.
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, you can't ask any of these people.
Yeah,
no, you can't ask
we're
them.
Not doing this.
You can't. Maybe you can ask grandma and grandpa. You can ask aunt and uncles. I don't even want to ask the people at church.
I know.
Listen, so it is so hard because I hate to do that. And I also think for teachers, it's the pressure because there's always a competition. And it always feels like, there's like, so Miss Weedle, she's our number 1 seller today. Look at Mrs. Hammond. She's number 39. And you're like, but like, I hate to push it. Now listen, in our last fundraiser, Boosterthon, I'll tell you, they do a great job. And I will tell you, you'll always have controversy because there's people like, well, you spend this much money on a fundraiser, Listen, they plan it. Yeah. They give great prizes. Teachers don't have the stress of anything. Yeah. Like it isn't, and we make lots of money for our school. So I'm telling you, I think it's an amazing fundraiser.
We're glad that they're out there.
And it does a lot for, so I'm not saying, but I will tell you, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Our fundraiser we do is very much, I don't do anything.
What do you guys do over there?
I can't think of what it's called right now. I mean, we get like,
I was like, you don't do fundraisers?
No, we have one, and it's similar to Boosterthon, except they get a day, what do they call it? Day of Awesomeness, or Best Day Ever is what it's called now. And we've got inflatables that get put up and fun. All this fun stuff, a little bit more older with that stuff. They mentioned one time while we were doing the fundraiser who had the most people like sign up or something, and the top 3, 2 of my classes were in the top 3, and I was like, how did that happen?
I know.
I was in shock, but raised a bunch of money. And honestly, as a teacher, I don't do a lot. And one of the things I love about it is on that best day ever, they have these blow up things. And last year, on Wipeout where they had the balls that people run across, they had those. And that is the best thing I've ever seen in my life, because kids would run across and like fall on their face and flip. And then I'd be like, next person, go! Like, go again.
I'm gonna sign you up.
Oh my gosh! And because they had so much confidence, they were gonna make it across, and nobody was making it across. Then you'd have a teacher do it, and I wasn't doing it because I was not gonna break my neck. But
don't do it this year.
I'm not doing it this year. I'm still out. But just oh my gosh!
No, I do love that, and like I said, like it is very teacher friendly.
Yes.
It is, and but I just think it's hard.
It is hard.
And I know you have to raise money for, like, you have to. Like,
right.
So I know you have to do. Now, listen, I remember the good old days when we used to sell the dining cards. We would have people that would get a limo ride if you sold a certain amount to Godfather's Pizza.
Oh, my gosh, I want Godfather's Pizza.
So I got to ride the limo a couple times to Godfather's Pizza. Now, that's my kind of fundraiser.
Yes. If anybody would like to get me some Godfather's Pizza.
I love Godfather's Pizza.
An M&M
dessert
one. Nothing beats that.
No, listen, we go with my whole family. And one of us gets the pizza, and one of them gets the cheese sticks and the M&M thing. It's so good.
Oh,
it's so good.
So hungry now.
I'm sorry.
So, that's anyway, I guess we covered both things.
Listen, I know.
But I do appreciate it as a teacher. I also am like, man, we have some really great things in our building.
Oh, we do
because of that fundraiser. So thank you for signing up and donating a little bit.
It is. We do appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
All right. So, listen, time gets away from us. Like, I can't believe how quick that was. We actually had other things on the list, but listen, we know you don't have all day. You got to get in school and start teaching. So
get in there and teach those kids.
Can't be sitting in the car. I found this verse, 1 Chronicles 16:34. It says, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever." But it reminded me, someone had posted this, I did some deep diving into intellect stuff, which means I found it on Facebook. Okay.
I was like, you did deep diving into like where?
But I love this. It says, recently I learned about a term called a glimmer, which is the opposite of a trigger. Glimmers are moments in your day that brings you joy, happiness, peace, gratitude, or love, making you feel good. The more you look out for them, the more you'll notice, and the fewer triggers you'll encounter. We tend to see what we actively seek. And I was like, this week, I want everybody to find their glimmers.
Yeah.
Not their triggers. We got lots of triggers right now going on.
Yeah.
But find your glimmer, and remember, this is what brings joy, happiness, peace, gratitude, or love, and making you feel good. And if that's what you notice, you'll have less triggers this week.
Yeah, and just that focus, really, right?
Yeah.
Like, in general with life, if you just are always looking at that negative part, but also just like, for me, I'm thinking about when you were saying that, I'm like, also recognize like God putting that in place for you.
100%.
Because sometimes I told you, like, there's been all kinds of stuff this week, but I've also seen little glimmers, and I'm like, I'm gonna choose, not that those other things aren't there, but I can also see God just being like, don't focus on that. We're all good, and just remain. And it's, my week would have been so much more
if you had noticed the glimmer. Not the triggers.
If I had went the opposite. So very good.
All right. Well, listen, we hope you have a great man. We are counting down to school. Like, listen, we're in the middle of April.
Yes.
Seriously.
It happens.
Good luck to everyone going on field trips the next few weeks. We hope it's restful and relaxing.
I'm sure that's
your
all
school is represented well when you go. And get a good night's sleep the night before and the night after, because you're going to need it. So, this is Listen.
Teacher Chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
And we'll see you next week.